So this is it. This is it for the Tinker's Construct stuff. I did take a break from the Jurassic World Evolution 3 stuff. I have a break. I just made one video, one live stream, which we're gonna go right back to after this. I just wanted to do this because me personally, I love Tinker's Construct. Tinker's Construct is one of my favorite all-time mods for I ever played on the Java edition, and I wanted to do this on the Bedrock edition. I wanted to cover the Bedrock edition because, well, this is kind of more accessible one I can easily play compared to the Java edition. And the reason I wanted to cover this is because this costs real money, and I wanted to get my voice out there. I want to get my opinion, my thoughts on this. And of course, I compare it to the Java edition, the one I played, the one I fell absolutely in love with. And this whole reason I made this video, this series, is to help guide other people who want to get this, to maybe see if they want to get this, or maybe those who already have it. Because, and this is when the ranting begins, and I'm not going to hold back here. This is terrible. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say terrible. There's good, and then there's bad. And what I mean the bad is they don't fully explain a lot. Sure, some things make sense, like where I'm just like, oh, well, you're an idiot because you couldn't figure out to use the alloy check crafter to check for to make alloys. But then there's certain things that they don't even talk about. So here is materials and they go over how you make the tools and stuff, and what the tools do, how you make plant string, how you make the bows and stuff. And then it goes over basic materials, repairs. It shows tin ore, talks about how tin ore spawns, and then how you do grout, how you make grout, and how you make the other books. Okay, but then here's the Tinker's guidebook, and then it tells you, oh, well, you can find them. Oh, you can see the sky slime is above the islands, but as we've seen in the other slime video, some of these cannot be found. And clay slime is just normal slime. It's just but clay, so it could be a clay farm. And then you got Ender Slime, Slime Sleeve. So it does show you stuff. Like I'm not going to pretend it doesn't tell you information, because it does give you information. But then there's some things like this, like the armor system. But what is the point of the armor system? It doesn't like tell you what the armors can do, because the armors don't do anything. None of the armors do anything. It doesn't tell you what these potions do. It just says you can make the potions. It doesn't tell you what the slime slings do. I mean, it shows you how to do the berry bushes and cheese and stuff, which is that's nice. That one's not too bad. And then some of the alloys. So it's like it tells you how to do the alloys and stuff, or like it shows you, oh yeah, this is how you get the alloys and stuff. But there's also stuff that they don't fully cover, or they'll put stuff in certain books, like here the bronze, like. Let's get to it. So it shows bronze. Like you can make bronze tools here for the puny smelting. The puny smelting is covering the meltery. It is not covering the smeltery. But yet you can't put bronze in here. You cannot put bronze in there unless you put bronze ingots. Well, how do you make bronze ingots? Well, you have to use the smeltery. You have to use the smeltery in order to make bronze. And something like that is just plain. That's just stupid. That's just stupid. Why would you even put these in here if they are not even for that? This should be part of this. And if you read the materials like pig iron and stuff, all that is a diamond tier. It's the same tier as diamond. So why is it in the same tier with iron tools? That makes no sense. That makes no sense there. And then the modifiers, I mean, the modifiers explain the modifiers pretty well, but then there's certain tools that don't work with the modifiers, such as the bows, armors, and stuff you have to do normal enchanting with, which begs the question is, why would I make a Tinker's Construct bow, or why would I want to make the Tinker's Construct armor, besides it looking cool, if it doesn't like do anything else? It doesn't have the bows have the effects, but the armor does not have the effects. And there's stuff here that don't tell you, like, oh yeah, there's this wandering trader dude. They don't tell you about this. Like, this isn't in any of the books, because if you go to, let's see, Tinker's Updates in Encyclopedia, here's what the Encyclopedia says. It gives you an introduction, okay, to return. Tools, pickaxe, axe, shul, dagger, swords, cleavers. So, read what daggers do. This combat weapon may be for short packs a punch in close combat. So it just tells you the generics. Okay, so we'll go back. It tells you tier 1 materials. It tells you tier 2. But you see, it considers rose gold and but see, in here, it actually lists the bronze as a tier. Actually, no, they actually don't even have bronze in here. Yeah, amethyst bronze. So this is when I was confused when I saw bronze. Like, wait, how do I make bronze? Because what? Because they don't tell you where to make bronze. It's not in the encyclopedia. So, and that's it. That's in the encyclopedia. There's nothing about the slime strings, the slime stings, or nothing. So here you can. It talks about them, but it doesn't tell you what exactly they do. Besides jumping around, that's something you have to test and learn out for yourself. Which, I mean, there's nothing fully wrong with that per se, but you still need to give some sort of clue or guidance on what some of these stuff, what the purpose of some of the stuff is. And like, or like as I did last time, there's stuff like the shards and stuff, like the shards and like I just did, like the shards, the nuggets, like the scrap, like there's nothing to the scrap. You can't use the scrap, so why is the scrap here? You can like you can't make it, so why is it in here? Is it something saved for later? I mean, that could be it, but there's also feels like they just don't really talk about enough to where it ultimately feels like I just like I don't know, like so I'm going to answer the question: is this worth buying? And I'm going to say uh, because it's not a simple yes or no. Because there's good in this too. I don't know my ranting, raveling sounds like a bunch of nonsense, but from my perspective, it seems a lot of this is just more mundane or slightly confusing or altered to where like or maybe just doesn't say like it doesn't say that you can't use bows on the enchanter. Just like what enchantments or modifiers you put on the bows, but you can put normal enchantments on bows, but you can't put normal enchantments on Tinker's construct tools. So why are bows and armors part of the normal like enchantment system? It makes no sense. But there's some good. So if you look at it from afar, if you zoom out and you look at it from afar, it looks like Tinker's Construct. If you're someone like me who really likes Tinker's Construct, who wants varied tools and wants to play the game in a new, fresh, refreshing way, this does provide that experience. It does give you that Tinker's Construct experience, but it's not the full Tinker's Construct experience. It is like the beta. It is like a shallower version, which is funny because they have a Tinker's Construct Light edition, which has less than this, but yet this doesn't have everything that the normal Java edition Tinker's Construct has. It's missing materials, it's missing tools. Like if we go over material, like the beginner materials, the tier one materials, if you've seen Java, you'll notice something is missing. Oh yeah, flint. Flint is missing. Like certain materials and stuff are missing. They are not part of this edition of the game, and it is quite weird to me because flint, like if you really look at uses of like flint or bones, it's like oh they already have quite low and limited uses in the vanilla game. So, but when you can make them really good tools, like in the Java edition where bones could do like bone tools or could do more damage or bone bows can fire more arrows upon a random chance or flint does crude damage, meaning it does more damage to undead mobs. You can make a really good beginner sword using basic materials you wouldn't use in the rest of the game. But that's not here. And talking about the modifiers, but I'm going to keep talking about the positives. So the positives, of course, it does add new food systems. It does make food like rotten flesh, pufferfish, and stuff like you can mix it into actual usable food. There's also adds the berry bushes, which adds new ways of farming up resources. So you can make an automatic iron farm, you can make an automatic diamond farm, you can make an automatic copper farm and XP farm, and in such a new, fresh way. It adds new wood types. It adds the green, the blue, the red wood with their leaves and like more stuff to explore, which is all cool. You know what? That is very cool. It adds new ways to traversing the land with the slime string, which is fun. So there's definitely there and the customizations of the tools. While we'll get into it. It is there, and it does add to more spice to spice up your world. It adds more decoration blocks. You can make new, cool, fancy buildings and stuff. And like, look at like over here. Like I made this like little um slime park thing to show off the different slimes and stuff, and the wandering traders and stuff, and using the wood types. So it's definitely stuff you can use. Like there's plenty of stuff and potions. That's new potions that you don't need nether warts. You just need a glass bottle. Like a potion of magma, fire resistance. It has a potion of slime, resistance, slow fall, and it has new ways of kind of playing the game. So all of that is there. All of that is there. So there is some good here. So that's why I can't fully say no that you shouldn't get this because it definitely adds more. It does make resource gathering a lot easier. It adds more experience, more levels, a little bit more complexity to the tool making system, which is one of Minecraft's most shallow ends of one of the more shallower ends of Minecraft is the progression system and the tool system. So when we get into the negatives, and this is when we're gonna be here, for a minute. The negatives. Uh, let's begin with talk about the tools. The tools are the most important part of Tinker's Construct. They're the reason you are playing Tinker's Construct. They're the reason I love Tinker's Construct because their abilities add a unique, cool twist to tools, to like a wooden pickaxe, to a stone pickaxe. It's not just a stone pickaxe. It's a stone pickaxe with a unique ability which completely changes it from how you normally play Minecraft. And in Java edition, I keep in Java edition, the tools had different abilities. So I know I played the older one, but in the older Tinker's Construct, I don't know if it's still the same, but wood had a thing called ecological. It was a natural form of mending that if you put on your tools would regenerate durability over time. It would be slow, but it would be something that could happen. Let's read what wood does here. Let's read what wood does here. Are you ready? So, wood does cultivation. It increases the chance of obtaining more items from crops from harvesting. That's not bad. So, if you want to make like a wooden hoe, or you want to use like a make a shovel with wood, or like a wooden tool rod, so you can have a chance to getting more crops. That's actually pretty good. You know what? That is actually a pretty good beginner tool. So I'm not going to be too mean to that one. That one I'm not going to be mean to at all. But let's get into stone. So like I don't remember what stone did fully on what the older version did, but first if I can get to it. So also I'm not sure how this works. So where it's like, oh yeah, you can material traits, you can select it and then you like so you crouch, you select and then open, but it doesn't work. So I'm not sure if it's not working or I'm not doing it right. So stone has summer. Stone and endstone have a rare chance to spawn silverfish and endermites respectively. Who wants that? Why would you want the ability to summon, like, spawn in silverfish? What ability is that? That's not a good ability. Like, you'll still make stone tools because you want to make iron tools or get to iron, so then when you start making diamond and netherite and all that stuff. But such a terrible ability. Why would you want that? Like, why? And that's it. That's it for stone. In Java Edition, there's multiple abilities for each tool. Each thing has multiple different abilities that you can pick and choose depending if you use the handle, use a binding, use the head. But here, no, it's just the one ability. That's it. That's the only ability you get. So if you want to make a stone sword, oh, well, that's it. You just get summoner. Oh yeah, so you can make a stone sword, but you get summoner, but it works when you're mining stone, so you can't even use that for stone weapons. It does nothing for stone weapons, as you might as well be using a vanilla stone tool, which completely cuts the fun of Tinker's Construct is that you're able to make these special tools out the gate. You're able to use repair kits to repair them, and then over time you're able to customize them and change them so you don't have to remake multiple tools over and over. But you can't do that here. You cannot change the parts out of the tools. Once you make a tool, that's it. That's it. You're done. You're done. So, well, in fact, we'll just go and show that. So, Tinker's Construct Java Edition, you're able to change out parts of tools. So, if you were done, so if you didn't want to use a little rinky-dinky wooden pickaxe anymore, you could upgrade to, I don't know, say, so you got some iron, you use some iron. So, we're just gonna make a wooden, we're just make a normal, quick, like a little wooden pickaxe here. Let's get into survival. So I want to show this off. So in Java, you were able to switch out the tools. So here, We can make this little wooden pickaxe here. So I want to change it out. Is that possible? Can I go to anvil? No, I can do that here. Can I go here? Can I change it out here? No. Can I use the part builder? No. Can I use the stencil? No. Can I use the modification table? Let's see. No. So you can't even change out tool parts. Once you make that tool, that is it. That's the only tool you have. Which is not what makes Teamster Construct so fun. It's the fact you can upgrade and change out your tools and try out different combinations of abilities. And you don't have to make the same weapon over and over and over again. But here, that's not a choice. That's not an option. It's, oh, when you make that tool, that's it. That's what you're stuck with. So I got a wood pickaxe with cultivation, and that's it. There's no other use for this. I'm not going to use a wood pickaxe to mine crops. I'm going to use a wooden hoe or a shovel. But I'm not going to use this. This isn't good for crops. And then of course we got bones. So bones in Java Edition, in the version I played, they could do more damage to mobs. A bow could fire more arrows by it was a random chance. It was so fun to make bones such a weird and common resource, something you only use for white dye and bone meal, and so such a cool fun ability that you could use even in the end game because it did extra damage to mobs. Undead. Striking undead mobs like zombies and skeleton, or zombies and husks, transforms them into skeleton. So, and then additionally, all defeated mobs now drop bones and bone meal. So that's not too bad, but it's the fact that you turn zombies and husk a zombie into a worse version of a mob. You turn it into a skeleton, which skeletons are more annoying and more difficult to deal with. So why would I want that? If it was just the bone meal or bones, I could see that actually having some use, especially early game, considering bone bone does have the same thing as act as stone. It is just slightly slower but has more durability. So you could mix and match the two. I mean, there is definitely something there to do, but these two abilities are not good. So you either get ability to summon random mobs, and then those mobs. I mean, sure, you can summon Silverfish and get more bones. Like, sure, but those aren't really good abilities that you're not going to be using too much. And when I said, oh yeah, it's probably better to just wait until you get into higher tiers of materials, because the wooden tools and stone tools and bone tools, the only three you can make in the beginning, are kind of suck. And of course, we're not even talking about making these. So of course, oh, my favorite part is that making the tools costs the stencils. It costs the patterns when that doesn't do that in the Java. In the Java edition, the patterns you only need one pattern and it only costs the resources you make. So if I want to make a stone cleaver, it costs this amount of stone, it takes the stone out of my inventory, and I keep the pattern. Not here. For some reason they decide, oh well, it also takes the pattern. Why? Why would it do that? Why would you make it take the cost of pattern when that's not what it does in the Java edition? This whole thing feels like it made changes to make changes to be necessarily different. I'm not sure if it was to make changes, or maybe it's for mobile players, or maybe it's people who play Minecraft on the phone. Well, then maybe the phone should be different. Maybe Pocket Edition should have been stayed its own thing because that should be its own thing. I shouldn't have to get a worse version of my favorite mod because you didn't want to make it the same. You decided to change it. Why? I don't know. I mean, it could be multiple reasons. It could be just because they wanted to make change it. Maybe it's Bedrock's code wouldn't allow it to work. I do not know. I physically could not answer why this was changed. And of course, you can't even make all the same parts and tools anyway. So, because you can't make the fire axe, you can't make the sledgehammer, and you can't make bindings. So, oh, well, yes, you can. Well, what's that? Was you can make bindings. You know, you can only make string bindings, and that's the only binding you can make. You cannot make any other bindings, unlike the Java edition, which you can make all sorts of bindings. The binding tool is how you can get extra abilities and stuff. You can make iron and diamond and all sorts of different bindings, but you can't do that here. You only get the string binding, and that's only for 3 tools. It is only for the pickaxe, axe, and the shovel. That is it. So you are not getting the full effect. They cut corners, they cut parts out, they cut resources out, they cut abilities out. And I just question why. Why did you do that? It's so unnecessary because what you end up doing is creating kind of a watered down version of Tinker's construct. Like some stuff is neat, like the smelt, like the meltery here. It's a neat idea. It's like it's supposed to be like an early game meltery that you can make. So you start getting some higher tier tools earlier on, so you don't have to make the smelter. But you can't make everything in the melter. You can only make like iron and gold. So why would I even make the meltery when I could just make the smeltery and just make everything except for stuff that needs blazing lava? But that's it. I can make diamond, I can make iron, bronze, all sorts of different tools in here. I cannot do that with this one. So my question is, what is the purpose of this one? Other than like again, it's neat on paper, and that's what a lot of this is. It's neat on paper, but when you really zoom into it, you realize, hey, that's kind of stupid because I can make that. Oh, well, what do you get tired? Well, guess what? You can farm up the resources to make this, and you might as well because you're going to have to make it anyway. So either way, you're going to farm up the resources to make this one anyway. So why even make that one? There's no point in making that one. The allies are cool, but again, it's like it just tell you, oh yeah, use the ally crafter, but they don't go over all the allies that can be made in there or how to make them. Of course, it's like, oh well, you can just look in there, which is true, but they should still tell you how to do it. The fact they don't give a lot of information or like certain pieces in boss or to like just carryovers from the Java edition, like this crafting table. The ability that this had was to connect all the benches and stuff together, but you can't do that here. These special drawers and stuff used to hold parts and stencils and stuff, not only do they not even work properly, I'm sorry, why I click here, I'm clicking the drawers. Crouching. Oh, crouching. Wait, if I look over here, if I look away from it, why does it work like that? Is it a bug? I like who knows? Suppose like why would you even want to make it at this point when I could just use a normal chest? And like these are features from the Java edition, but they felt cut short. And don't even get me started on making swords and cleavers needing an anvil to make wooden swords. Why? Why do I need a wooden sword? Why not just use the Tinker Station to make wooden tools and then you use the anvils to make the iron and diamond tools? Wouldn't that make more sense that you can use the Tinker's tool to make stone and beginner material tools? But then when you move up to iron and metals, you'll need the anvil to make them. Wouldn't that make more sense? Not just, oh, you need this to make all the iron, like all the pickaxes and stuff, and you need this for the weapons, swords. That makes no sense. Why even separate them? So you're locked out of making weapons besides the dagger if you wanted to make a dagger, or you can just make a normal vanilla sword, which will do more damage than the dagger would at the beginning of the game, anyways. And that's what a lot of this is. It's like, or the slime stuff, like the slingshots and stuff. Like, yeah, that's all cool. That's all cool, but you cut what actually kind of made it cool, and then the slime armor doesn't even work the same. So, but something I did want to test out. I mean, I'll test it on my own free time. It's making different slime armor, but and in fact, that's not how that works. You can't like there's no, the slime boots and stuff are just armor, and that's what it is. You can just enchant it. Where's the cool ability that slime that you can reduce fall damage or jump around? Why is that not here? Why did you cut that? Why is Tinker's Construct armor not have any cool abilities like the metals have? Or actually, a lot of them aren't even cool. In fact, let's go over some more of these abilities that are just some of them are just laughably stupid. So Soulbound, I mean that one's good. That's a good one. We got Diamond, which is good. Killager is weird. Why does Cobalt get Killager? And Killager is if you kill emeralds or you can get emeralds and stuff from killing pillagers and villagers? Why would you want to do that? I mean, you can already get emeralds and stuff from killing them. So, from killing pillagers and stuff. So, what in the world would possess you to make a cobalt sword for the express purpose of killing people? And that's the thing. That's good for weapons, but there's no trait for tools. There's no trait for axes and stuff. And that makes no sense when that's what the Java edition had. It had different traits they can use for weapons or for tools or for handles and all sorts of stuff. And there's even other materials missing, like paper in Java edition, you were able to make it. It had terrible durability, but you were able to put more modifications on your tool. No, you only get 3 modifications. That's it. And that's it. That's all you get. You only get those 3. So you better hopefully you can mix and match them right with the right tools. Uh, and then you get stuck. I mean, stuck's not too bad. Smelting's not bad. So when you get to the higher ones, they aren't balanced. See, they aren't bad. Like bounce here, that works. That helps with the slime tools. Plunder's not bad. Floaties, interesting, and guarding. Netherite tools give you guard. 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 Well, you know what guarding is good for? In fact, let's read what guarding is good for. Stand your ground. This trait absorbs the force of blows and keeps you steady in combat. So it works like knockback resistance. I'm sorry. Why would I want that on my tools? So Diamond has the So Diamond has the ability of Diamond, which is infuses your tools, weapons with enhanced durability, making them resistant to wear and tear. So it's a strong material. It has lots of durability. So you're sacrificing that with guarding. So instead of giving your tools higher durability, you give your tools the ability to protect you in a fight. I'm sorry. When do I need my tools to protect me in a fight? When that's what armor is for. Armor is for protecting you in a fight. A shield is for protecting you in a fight. Tools are meant to help you gather resource or fight. Why do I need guard for? Why do I need something that could be made for armor? That should be an armor trait, not a tool trait, not a weapon trait. There should be more traits for armor and tools so you can actually get the full experience of what makes Tinker's Construct Tinker's Construct. This whole thing is just a watered down system of Tinker's Construct. And the abilities aren't even all that good. Like, a lot of the beginner ones are just okay or bad. The middle ones, these ones, like the iron one, the iron one's pretty good. So, like, it's only when you get to the metals you actually start getting abilities that could be worth something, but they're not all the best. So, and of course, thank you for the lighting because I can't barely read this thing. Magnetic is pretty good speeds, decent, tasty is good for last restore food, and then you get experience, which gives you more experience. But the only thing you'll need experience for is enchanting. So why would I even want that? I mean, why would I even want that? Why would I make rose gold? There's no value or interest in me making rose gold tools or armor because there's no point to it to get any experience unless it had a new unique ability. If it had a different ability that was interesting, could be interesting. Reinforced bronze is pretty good, but bronze is a diamond tier tool, so I don't even know why. Why is it even in this item? I don't really know. So this is also why I can't fully say yes to purchasing this because you're not getting the same Tinker's Construct experience. You're not getting the full Tinker's Construct ability. And I don't know. So my verdict is it a yes? Is it a no? Is this worth your money? Your real money? Your actual money? This isn't free. This is worth your money. Is this worth your real life dollars? Your dollar bucks? And my answer is going to be in the middle. If you truly want that Tinker's Construct ability, if you really want to play Tinker's Construct, if you really want the experience of it, even if it's shallow, even if it's kind of gutted out, then yes, you should get it if that is something you truly want to do. I personally got it because I wanted Tinker's Construct for myself. I love Tinker's Construct. But if you wanted a true Tinker's Construct experience, if you want the same thing as Java, then I'm going to kind of have to say no. For the fact is, it isn't the full same game. You're not getting the same game, and some things are added in with no real purpose. A lot of it feels kind of undeveloped, like the scrap ingots and stuff, or certain abilities, or certain items that just don't really have much use. Like a tin can. What is it? What's the point of a tin can? It holds less than 1 ingot worth of material. You can't use that for anything because you can't make nuggets. So why would I even get that? Why would I get a tin can? Tin is only good for making bronze. That is, or decoration. That's it. Because you can't make tin armor. You can't make tin tools, which that could be interesting. That could be interesting abilities. Those could be interesting tools. Maybe you can give them unique, interesting abilities. But no. No, you can't make tin tools. You can make bronze tools. And I just, like, it just hurts me. This hurts me because this breaks my heart because I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it is the Bedrock code or they wanted to change things for the sake of changing it. But I just don't get why they did what they did. I don't get this. This feels more like a mess to me. Me personally, this feels like a weird hodgepodge of, oh yeah, it's Tinker's construct, but we mix things up and then, and then we just make it for Bedrock. It's still Tinker. It's like Dragon Ball GT. See, if you look from it from afar, yeah, oh yeah, that's Dragon Ball. But it's when you start getting up close and personally, and you can sniff the cracks in the suit. That's when you kind of start seeing the weirdness of this. And I can't personally say fully no or yes, because ultimately it is up to you. If you truly want Tinker's Construct, then by all means, just go ahead and get it. I just know what you're kind of getting into. But if you really love Tinker's Construct, then I like me. I mean, I would also maybe just say no because this isn't full true Tinker's Construct ability. But but again, like, was there an alternative? I'm not sure there's any alternative to this. I'm not sure there's another add-on or a mod that's better than this. If there is, then please let me know in the comments and let other people know. But this is Bedrock Edition Tinker's Construct. So my final verdict is I don't think it's fully that good. I'm not saying it's terrible because there's still plenty of features in. Like I said, if you look far enough away, it is Tinker's Construct core, but it's missing a lot of the core features and elements that makes Tinker's Construct so fun to me at least. So that's going to be it. That's going to be my verdict. So it's kind of vague, but at the same time though, I mean, this isn't terrible. It's like it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you really wanted to get this. This wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to get. It could be something nice in the background to have if you're working on other projects and stuff, and it could be interesting. Again, it does add more to your world, more tools, more variability, which is always refreshing to do in Minecraft. So that's going to be it for my thoughts, my rant on Tinker's Construct. I hope you enjoyed the series. I definitely did. I definitely did enjoy making it, and it did help me understand Tinker's Construct a lot more because those books are very confusing to me. I'm going to be honest, these books are very confusing to me. They don't fully explain a lot, or like they just say, "Oh yeah, you can do this," but then it feels like, okay, well, what does that do? And then you actually have to make it, and then you find out, oh, hey, that doesn't work right. So that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps you. I hope this maybe if you're looking into getting it, I hope this helps you make your decision. Ultimately, it is up to you if it's worth your money or not. I mean, like I said, I can't say fully yes, but I can't say fully no either because there are some highlights to this that is fun. It does make it quite redeemable in a few ways. So that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching this series. I hope you enjoyed and I had fun making it. Thank you.